When I was younger, I was a competitive bodybuilder, and I had trained for a number of years for this one competition, just filled with excitement and enthusiasm leading up to it. I would train, literally 365 days a year, sticking to a very strict diet, running, lifting weights, working on all sorts of the mental aspects of the game, and just truly being engaged and embracing literally everything that I was doing and feeling tremendous excitement and enthusiasm and really living life. I was feeling so alive when I would go through those training periods. This one year, I had trained for this. It was actually a national level competition. Went to the competition and won the competition. And the next day, on arriving home, and it was a Sunday, I was so depressed. In fact, I was so depressed that my family was actually very seriously worried about me. I literally woke up in the morning, and for the first time in years, I was feeling just no sense of purpose. I was feeling aimless, listless. I was feeling apathetic. I had a sense of mediocrity, just very, very depressed. And I couldn't understand what was going on. Well, after a major competition, we're told to take off a few days, and I took off and just continued to feel incredibly depressed, and went through those days, and then went down to the gym, and there I was talking to one of the men who trained me, and I was sharing with him how depressed I was feeling, and he just looked at me and smiled and laughed. And I said, what are you laughing at? And he says, well, that's pretty normal for us to go through, that experience. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, you were living to compete in this competition. It was everything you were thinking about. You were engaged. You were passionate. You were excited. You had something to live for. And he looked at me and he says, right now, what's your next goal? And I didn't have one. I had focused so strongly on achieving this one objective that I didn't have any other goals in mind as to what I was going to do after I had achieved it. Reached it, accomplished it, won the championship, and then just literally crashed off the mountaintop into a valley of depression. And he instructed me that I needed to set my sights on accomplishing something else, whether it had to do with bodybuilding or weightlifting or education or business, but get your eyes fixed on accomplishing another great goal. Well, over the course of those next few days, I began to evaluate where I wanted to be at the end of that next year and set my sights on winning another championship. And it was amazing what happened. Literally, within hours of setting my eyes on that next conquest, I immediately started to feel that enthusiasm again. I started to get excited again. I started to feel the passion coming back. And it came back, and I learned that lesson, and I've never looked back. We were created to live purposeful lives. We were created to be purpose-driven people, to have purposes that produce tremendous enthusiasm, tremendous excitement. You see a lot of people walking around discouraged and depressed and frustrated. My belief is that those poor souls are, they're filled with wonderful potential. There's a magnificence within every one of them. But they just don't have goals, and they don't have purposes. They don't have a vision that is truly empowering them and lifting them and inspiring them and motivating them. If we're going to live truly meaningful lives and make a significant difference, we need to have some type of goal that's bigger than us, something that's bigger than our lives and bigger than just merely the little routine existence that we all live. We need something that's going to truly inspire us and motivate us and impassion us to go out and pursue it and to fight for it and to drive for it and compete for it. When we get that type of purpose in our lives, we begin to live a life where we're truly filled with force. And it's a forceful life instead of a life of living, as many people do, which is kind of a life of a farce. You were created to be a force, not a farce. And when you have purposes like that in your life, you're going to live that forceful life. You're going to live a life of significance and meaning, and you're going to live a life that's truly extraordinary.